Hey guys, Scott Poley here. I am a session pedal steel guitarist, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about the rig I use when I'm playing pedal steel guitar. So firstly, let's start with the guitar itself. This is my Reigns pedal steel double neck guitar, beautiful instrument built for me by Gary Carpenter at Reigns probably 10 years ago or more now. It's a beautiful instrument. It's got Bill Lawrence pickups. They are humbucking though, so no issues with noise in busy venues, which is cool. It's a great instrument, sounds incredible. E9 neck. If you want to know the copedant, which is the kind of which pedals do what on my steel, there are videos about the pedals and knee levers. In fact, on my channel, if you're interested in learning pedal steel, there are some free lessons about what the knee levers and the pedals do, what are pedals and knee levers for that matter, and some picking techniques and a general description of how to play the pedal steel guitar. So check those videos out, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. So anyway, back to the Reigns pedal steel. Yeah, this was built for me by Reigns. It's great. It's more pedal steel than I'll ever need. So yeah, it's a metal neck, so it's more like an Emmons style pedal steel. We do have the C6 neck as well. This guitar is being played through a Little Walter amp. In fact, you can see it just here. It's a 50 watt Little Walter head made for me by Phil Bradbury from Little Walter Tube Amps. Why Little Walter? Well, Paul Franklin uses them, and frankly, if Franklin uses them, then that's good enough with me because he's the best pedal steel player on the planet. It's kind of like an old Fender design with octal preamp tubes, this one, and it's the 50 watt. Paul uses a slightly more powerful amp, but this is great for in the studio. And that set, it just has a bass and a treble or a tone control. Very, very simple amp, but it just sounds incredible. It's like an old Fender Tweed, really. And that's currently running into a single 112. I tend to use two separate 1x12 cabinets. I'm toying around with speakers. These are currently, I have a Celestian speaker in one and an Eminence in the other, the Paul Franklin Eminence, which sounds incredible. So yeah, that's what I'm using at the moment. So that's the amp, fairly straight up sound. Now, pedals. Loads of people talk about pedals and like pedals. The most important pedal, without a shadow of a doubt, on my board is this thing, which is the Peterson Strobe tuner. This is the, what did they call it? The Stomp Classic. There is a much nicer looking one that they've released since this was out, which has got different colours and different bits and bobs on it, but this is the one I've had for ages. This is a Strobe tuner. You can see that string is currently slightly flat because the strobes are moving to the left. If I move them to the right, that means the string is sharp. The Peterson is so good because the pedal steel, unlike a guitar tuner, it requires what you call sweetened tuning. So a bit like a piano, certain strings require a slightly different temperament, or they're very slightly sharp or flat to sound in tune in context. It's quite a difficult concept to grasp that it's out of tune to be in tune, but it's how pianos are tuned, how loads of different instruments are tuned. But it has all these settings built into this fantastic little tuner. And it's great, it's reliable, you can see it on a dark stage. Peterson tuners are brilliant. Next on my board, I have this little pedal, which is just a true bypass looper. Quite often if I'm in the studio, I just travel with this very small, convenient little board. I'll want to patch in a different pedal. Maybe it's, you know, another delay or a phaser or whatever, you know, whatever's required really. This pedal is just a loop. So I can engage that. Currently it's not engaged, it's nothing plugged into it, but if I want to have another pedal in there, I've got a spare power point underneath my board with the Strymon Ohe, which is great, powers most things. And then I can just put a send and return in, engage that pedal, and it will turn the external pedal that I've connected on. So that's that one. Dead simple. Next up, we have the Overdrive on my board, which is the Thorpe Peacekeeper. Let's engage that. Sounds like this. The thing I really like about this pedal, and there's actually a full Thorpe Peacekeeper demo on my channel. It was one of the first videos I ever did. I'll link that in the top right hand corner now. But the EQ section is so versatile on this. So that is a little bit bassy for this. So let's turn that down a little bit. You hear otherwise the bass, if you turn the bass up, it gets a bit woolly. So if I turn that bass back down, just a bit more control. The other thing with this, it's so versatile. You can really turn the drive, like crank the drive. Listen, no hiss, no noise. I'm not muting the signal right now. Amazing. So yeah, great pedal this. If you're wondering what this is, the light is so bright on this pedal, you can see it from space. So I've got a bit of tape over the light because it's so blinking bright. That's the Thorpe Peacekeeper. Brilliant pedal, that. I do want to speak to them about getting one with a wet-dry functioning, which would be great to blend some of the dry signal in. So, Adrian, if you're watching, expect a phone call from me. Right, next up, a new pedal that you guys haven't seen yet. I've been using this recently. It's called the Wampler Equator EQ pedal. Fantastic name, Wampler's marketing department. What does this do? Well, it's actually been on all the time that you've been hearing this demo. This steel is really bright. If I turn this pedal off, you'll hear the volume's going to go up and it's going to get really bright. And, you know, that's not the sound that you want to hear on everything. Depends what amp you plug it into, but for this rig, engage that. And you've just got a nice top end there. It's kind of handy that, you know, no engineers have to do that. Get it right at source. So yeah, that pedal's really great, dead handy, and you can always sculpt the sound a little bit if you're in the studio. And the only other pedal that I'm using is the Source Audio Collider. Again, there's another demo of this on my channel, which I'll link in the top right hand and the description. You've been hearing that all the way through. It's the reverb and delay pedal that I'm using. So hear that little bit of spring type reverb. You can engage the delay. And you can tap the delay as well on the foot switch. This pedal is really useful though because it has presets built into it. It can also be MIDI controlled and the whole shebang. But I get a lot of calls to do more kind of atmospheric pedal steel stuff, so I'm just going to switch to the preset that I use for doing that. There we go. It's preset number 3. So the ambient sound I go for is like a much bigger reverb and like a long delay. So if you use that in conjunction with the Thorpe Peacekeeper, so that's got this really kind of interesting thing. It shows you on the top of this an analog delay and an E-dome, whatever that is, reverb. So it sustains a whole bunch. Now, you're going to wonder what this little orange pedal is. This was made by an electronics brilliant friend of mine named Andy, but he doesn't make pedals anymore, so don't even ask. But there is an Electro-Harmonix, no it's not, it's made by Orange Amps I think, I'll link it, whatever it is, in the description now, but basically it's an expression pedal, like you would have an expression controller, like a volume pedal, but it's the bottom and the top of a volume pedal. So when I engage that, it's going to make the delay sustain, so I've not quite perfected this pedal yet, I've got to be honest. I would like one with like a soft touch, so I could kind of not, so it's not a hard switch. It would make life a lot easier. It's also generally a little easier to get from my foot, but yeah, that's what that does. So if you want to sustain a chord really long at the end of a song, for instance, it does that. You can create some really interesting textures with it. Repeat hold function. The only other pedal that I'm using, which I've been using again all the way through this, is my volume pedal. So it's just a volume pedal like any other. The Hilton volume pedal is what I'm using at the moment. The Hilton volume pedal is a potless volume pedal, so it's just done electronically so the pots don't wear out. It's brilliant. If you want to buy a good volume pedal for anything, just buy a Hilton. They're amazing. And the technique with the volume pedal on a pedal steel is you never really turn it all the way off. You go from about halfway up. So you're never completely off. Going up, you're kind of going. So you start back here. So that's the rig. That pedal board, pedal steel, little Walter. Couple of other pedals I use. Sometimes I'll use the brilliant pedal called a Microcosm by Hologram Electronics. I urge you to go and check out my video about that because it's an amazing kind of ambient pedal. For some sessions I'll pull that out. It's not on the board all the time, but it's an amazing sounding pedal and sounds incredible on, well, everything to be honest, but on pedal steel particularly. And And that's about it, really. I don't really like effects that much on this. I'm keen to try some more, though, so if you guys have any requests or want to see me try any pedals out or have any recommendations, please drop a note in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you got value out of this video, I would love it if you'd like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell icon because it will let you know when I release new videos, which I do every single week. And if you're interested in getting pedal steel on your track, or if you want some pedal steel lessons remotely via Skype, then please contact me via scottpoliey.com. I'll catch you next time, guys. Stay safe out there.